Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's data rights rulemaking. So that's the CFPB. It's not easy to pronounce. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they're entering a situation where they're doing rulemaking. So this is based on 1033 of the Dodd-Frank Act, where regulators can go in and they can use existing laws and regulations and create rules. So we're seeing a similar exercise happening at the FTC. At the FTC, they're working on things around kind of consumer surveillance, advertising, and data. So this particular one is very interesting in terms of kind of their data rights rulemaking. They say that they want to increase individuals' data rights and also try to increase or not hinder competition. So this is somewhat similar to what's happening in Europe and India right now, like the UK, the EU, and India around open banking. So open banking, the idea is that consumers can easily transact their business, not have to be locked in, for example, to one bank or one bank product, giving more kind of smaller players in those financial realms more access to individual and customers. So this particular rulemaking process is not going to go that far. It's not going to go as far as what's happening in Europe or in India, but they're basically looking at the contours of some of the things that are in those open banking type of proposals. So things like transparency with the individual, data portability, making it very easy for someone, for example, to close an account one place and open it somewhere else. The privacy of personal data. So as that data is being transferred, making sure that it's done in a privacy preserving way between maybe financial institutions or banks, or not even banks, but even like other financial products that are probably untraditional. The authorized use of third-party data, so basically making sure that these financial products or institutions, if they're gathering data, making sure that they're getting the proper consent for any kind of third-party transfer. And right now, this process, they're taking feedback from the public, and anyone who wants to comment between now and January 25th, 2023. So it definitely remains to be seen what's going to happen with this. I think this is going to give some financial institutions or some companies that haven't been accustomed to these kind of level of prescriptive rules being made, especially as a derivative of Dodd-Frank. They're going to be very concerned because they hadn't done this before. But I think that the trend towards more control for the individual and more transparency is kind of the way to go. I think it's interesting that they touched on data portability. Data portability is a huge feature of things like open banking in Europe, and I think I'm just really interested to see how kind of the U.S. flavor of this plays out. That's it. Thank you.